Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional before making any decisions regarding your health or hormones. Free workout planner app. Custom programs based on your goals. Link in the video description below. Video title: Steroids Explained, Testosterone, Deca, Trenbolone, Anavar and Dianabol, How They Work and the Risks. Steroids, what are they actually doing? Anabolic steroids are often discussed as if they're simply powerful muscle-building drugs. But what actually happens inside the body when someone takes them? Testosterone, Deca, Trenbolone, Anavar and Dianabol can all produce anabolic effects, but they don't behave identically. They differ in their chemical structures, their interaction with androgen receptors, their effects on muscle and other tissues, and their potential risks. In this video, we'll look at what these compounds actually do, what effects people expect from them, and what can go wrong. What is anabolic androgenic steroid? Anabolic androgenic steroids, often shortened to AAS, are synthetic compounds related to testosterone. The word anabolic refers to tissue-building effects, such as increasing muscle protein synthesis. Androgenic refers to effects associated with male sexual development and androgen activity. These two categories aren't completely separate. A compound can produce both anabolic and androgenic effects, although the balance can differ between compounds. And that's one reason different steroids can produce different experiences and different side effect profiles. The androgen receptor. One of the most important mechanisms involves the androgen receptor. Steroid hormones can enter cells and interact with androgen receptors. The activated receptor can then influence gene expression. This changes the production of certain proteins and affects tissues throughout the body. In skeletal muscle, androgen signaling can contribute to increased protein synthesis and changes in muscle size and strength. But androgen receptors aren't found only in muscle. They are present in many tissues, which helps explain why these drugs can affect much more than someone's physique. Testosterone. Testosterone is the natural androgen that serves as the reference point for many anabolic steroids. Increasing testosterone exposure can increase muscle protein synthesis, support increases in muscle mass and strength, and increase red blood cell production. But more testosterone doesn't simply mean more muscle. Excess testosterone can also affect blood pressure, cholesterol, fertility, the prostate, skin, and hair. And when testosterone comes from outside the body's normal hormonal feedback system is affected. Testosterone suppresses natural production. One of the most important effects of taking external testosterone or other anabolic steroids is hormonal suppression. Normally, the brain and pituitary gland communicate with the testes to regulate testosterone production. When the body detects high androgen levels, this signaling can be reduced. As a result, natural testosterone production and sperm production can fall. This is why anabolic steroid use can cause testicular shrinkage, reduced fertility and hormonal problems after stopping. Deca/Nandrolone. Nandrolone, commonly known through the brand name Deca, is another anabolic steroid derived from testosterone. It has strong anabolic activity and is associated with increases in muscle mass and strength. Nandrolone also has progestogenic activity, which distinguishes it from testosterone in important ways. Like other anabolic steroids, it can suppress natural hormone production and negatively affect fertility. It can also alter cholesterol levels and cardiovascular risk factors. And despite the reputation sometimes given to nandrolone for being easy or safe, it is still a powerful hormone-active drug. Trenbolone. Trenbolone is one of the most potent anabolic steroids used outside legitimate medical applications. It has strong androgen receptor activity and can produce substantial anabolic effects. But potency does not mean safety. Trenbolone is associated with significant hormonal suppression and can negatively affect cardiovascular health. Users also report problems such as sleep disturbance, sweating, mood changes and reduced exercise tolerance. Importantly, Trenbolone is not approved for human medical use in many countries and is primarily known as a veterinary drug. Anavar/Oxandrolone. Oxandrolone, commonly known as Anavar, is an orally active anabolic steroid. It was originally developed for medical purposes and has been used in certain situations involving muscle wasting and recovery. It is often perceived as a relatively mild steroid. But mild doesn't mean harmless. Oxandrolone can suppress natural testosterone production and can negatively affect cholesterol, particularly by lowering HDL, the so-called good cholesterol. And because it is an oral anabolic steroid, liver health is also an important consideration. Dianabol/methandienone. Dianabol, or methandienone, is another oral anabolic steroid. It became famous because of its ability to produce relatively rapid increases in body weight and strength. But some of that rapid weight increase can involve water retention rather than new muscle tissue. Dianabol can also suppress natural testosterone production and negatively affect cholesterol. Because of its chemical structure, it can also place significant stress on the liver. And increased blood pressure can become another concern. Why different steroids feel different? So why don't all steroids produce exactly the same results? Their chemical structures influence how strongly they interact with androgen receptors and how they behave in the body. Some can be converted into estrogen. Some have activity involving progesterone receptors. Some are modified to survive oral administration. And some remain active for much longer than others. These differences can change both their expected effects and their potential risks. Estrogen, it's not simply bad. Here's an important misconception: estrogen isn't simply a bad hormone for men. Some testosterone can be converted into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. Normal estrogen levels are important for several functions, including bone health, sexual function, and overall hormonal balance. Problems can occur when estrogen levels become excessively high or excessively low. That's why manipulating hormones without medical supervision can create another set of problems while someone is trying to solve the first one. Liver damage. Image idea. Human liver with warning indicators and oral steroid tablets in the foreground. Voiceover. Liver effects are particularly important with certain oral anabolic steroids. Some compounds are chemically modified so they can survive digestion and reach the bloodstream. That modification can increase the burden placed on the liver. Depending on the compound and exposure, liver enzymes can rise and liver injury can occur. Severe liver complications are uncommon but potentially serious. This is one reason that it's only a pill doesn't mean a steroid is harmless. Cholesterol and the heart. One of the biggest long-term concerns with anabolic steroids is cardiovascular health. Steroid use can negatively change cholesterol levels, often reducing HDL and increasing the balance toward a more atherogenic profile. Some steroids can also increase blood pressure and may increase red blood cell production. Over time, these changes can place additional stress on the cardiovascular system. This is important because someone can look extremely healthy and muscular while having cardiovascular risk factors that aren't visible from the outside. Blood, hematocrit, and red blood cells. Testosterone and other anabolic steroids can stimulate red blood cell production. This can increase hemoglobin and hematocrit. While red blood cells are essential for carrying oxygen, excessively high levels can make the blood more viscous and may increase cardiovascular concerns. This is one reason blood testing is important for people receiving medically prescribed testosterone and why unsupervised steroid use can be particularly risky. Fertility. Another major issue is fertility. The body normally produces sperm through a hormone signaling system involving the brain, pituitary gland, and testes. External anabolic steroids can suppress this system. Sperm production can fall dramatically, sometimes to extremely low levels. Fertility may recover after stopping, but recovery is not guaranteed to be immediate or complete. For someone planning to have children, this is a particularly important consideration. Mental and psychological effects. Image idea. Split face showing calm versus angry/anxious emotional states, with brain imagery. Voiceover. Steroids can also affect the brain. Changes in androgen levels can influence mood and behavior. Some users experience increased irritability, aggression, anxiety, mood swings, or sleep problems. Others may experience psychological dependence on the appearance and performance benefits. And after stopping, some people experience low mood, reduced motivation, and other symptoms associated with hormonal withdrawal and suppression. Acne, hair and skin. Not every steroid side effect is life-threatening. Increased androgen activity can stimulate oil production in the skin, contributing to acne. In genetically susceptible people, androgenic activity can also accelerate male pattern hair loss. These effects can be particularly noticeable on the face, back and shoulders. And unlike muscle gains, some of these changes may not completely disappear after stopping. Gynecomastia. Gynecomastia is another possible complication. It refers to the development of glandular breast tissue in males. Hormonal changes, particularly an imbalance between estrogenic and androgenic signaling, can contribute to it. Once established, gynecomastia may not simply disappear when steroid use stops and can sometimes require medical treatment or surgery. The biggest misunderstanding. Perhaps the biggest misunderstanding about anabolic steroids is judging their safety by their visible results. Bigger muscles, lower body fat, and increased strength can look impressive. But many of the most important effects happen internally. Cholesterol doesn't appear in the mirror. Blood pressure doesn't appear in the mirror. Hormonal suppression doesn't appear in the mirror. And early cardiovascular damage doesn't necessarily produce obvious symptoms. Are some steroids safe? You'll often hear that one steroid is safe, another is mild, and another is dangerous. That's an oversimplification. Every compound has its own pharmacology and risk profile. The actual risk also depends on the person's health, exposure, duration, other drugs, genetics, and medical supervision. A compound being less harmful in one area doesn't make it harmless overall. What about medical use? It's also important to distinguish medically supervised treatment from non-medical steroid use. Some anabolic androgenic steroids have legitimate medical applications. Testosterone, for example, can be prescribed for certain forms of clinically diagnosed testosterone deficiency. In medical treatment, the goal isn't simply to maximize hormone levels. The goal is to treat a medical problem while monitoring the patient's health and minimizing unnecessary risk. The blood test doesn't tell everything. Blood tests can provide valuable information, but they don't make steroid use safe. Tests can reveal changes in cholesterol, liver enzymes, blood counts, and hormone levels. But a normal test result today doesn't guarantee that long-term exposure won't cause problems later. Monitoring can detect certain problems, it cannot eliminate the underlying risks. Different compound, different risk. So there isn't really a single answer to the question, which steroid is best? Testosterone has one profile. Nandrolone has another. Trenbolone has a much different risk profile. Oral compounds such as oxandrolone and methandienone have their own concerns. Choosing a compound isn't simply choosing between more or less muscle. It's also choosing a different set of biological effects and potential complications. Final message. Anabolic steroids are powerful hormone-active drugs. They can increase muscle mass and strength, but those benefits come with biological consequences. Testosterone, nandrolone, trenbolone, oxandrolone, and methandienone all work differently, but none should be treated as harmless shortcuts. If you're considering hormone treatment or you're concerned about steroid use, speak with a qualified medical professional rather than relying on advice from forums, influencers, or gym culture. Your physique is visible. Your internal health isn't. And that's exactly why understanding the risks matters. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Every week I share practical fitness tips, training advice, and evidence-based information to help you build a stronger, healthier body. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.